In this video, we're going to be discussing how to write inequalities in different notations. So on the left-hand side, you have your inequality, x is greater than 5. In the middle, you would have the graph that we would normally graph with. It is an open circle because it does not include 5, and it is shaded everything to the right going towards infinity because it is all values that are greater than 5. Now on the right is where we're going to be discussing as interval notation. This is what we're going to be using from here on out. It is going to start at the number 5, and it is going to be everything to the right of 5, which is everything to infinity. Now, the 5 has a parentheses around it because it does not include 5. It is an open circle. If you notice here on the second one, it actually does include 5 because there's a less than or equal underneath it. Therefore, the circle is filled in. It is a closed circle because it does include 5. So therefore, they use a bracket to show that it does include the number. Now, if you notice, of all the signs that have infinity, there's always a parentheses after the infinity or before the negative infinity. And this is because infinity can never technically be reached. You can't include infinity because it never stops. It goes on forever. So a parentheses is going to be used anytime you use infinity. So down here, we're looking at compound inequalities that we have used. So x is in between 1 and 5. That is why it is shaded only in between. And the way you would write the interval notation is it begins at 1, it does not include it, so it's a parentheses, and it goes from 1 to 5, and then you close the parentheses because it does not include it. If there was an inequality that had the line underneath it, then it would be brackets. Now down here, this is also compound inequalities where you have an OR. Now when you have an OR, you have two different inequalities that are going on. It is from this case, from 1 going to the left, going all the way down to all the negative numbers. So it would be a negative infinity to 1. Now this right here is a union set, which means it could be, x could be happening anywhere inside this set, or x could be represented anywhere after the number 5. So if we were to do one, if we said x is greater than 3, now that means 3 would be an open circle and everything would be shaded to the right, all the values of x that are greater than 3. The interval notation would be 3 to infinity. It is not a bracket because it does not include 3. Same thing if we had x is less than or equal to 2. 2 would be a closed circle, and it's everything that is less than that, so everything going to the left. So in this case, it would be all of the negative numbers, negative infinity, up to 2, and it is a bracket because it does include 2. You would not write this. This is not correct. You read from left to right. Numbers need to go in increasing chronological order. So that's why you would start with all the negative numbers and it reaches up to 2 and then it stops. So let's do an example. Express the interval using two different representations. So in this case, we are looking for all the values of x that are greater than or equal to, I believe, negative 11, because it is a closed circle and it is representing everything to the right of that. So the interval notation in this place would be, I would use a bracket because it does include, and it would be, I believe this is negative 11, and then it's everything to the right of that. So it's all the values to the right of that, so it would be the infinity sign. And then if we were to write it as an inequality notation, it would be x, and we're looking at all the values that are that are greater than or equal to negative 11. Let's do another one. So we are looking for the interval from 2 to 9. Now, it does not include them because it is not a bracket. These are parentheses. So therefore, the inequality notation would be everything that is between 2 and 9. So the inequality notation for this would be x is in between these two values. It is greater than 2, but it is less than 9. And the number line would be everything from 2, I clicked and dragged to 9. Now this does not include it, so I need to click on the circles to show that they do not include. And that concludes discussing the different types of notations that you can write with inequalities.